Now let's start with day number 3. And before we jump into the topic for today's topic, let's recap what we have done yesterday. Let me find out the slides. Yes, I do got it. So day number 2 recap is this. I have shown you the approach that we are going to follow. It's a sandwich approach. We are already started with NXOpen. We started understanding about journals, which is simpler form of any NXOpen programs. Then we are going to see the concepts, the topics within C Sharp on the go, and we will also uh, learn few C Sharp topics in deep, and then we will again move our focus to NXOpen. So this is what is the sandwich approach that I am going to follow, and I have already shared with you what are the benefits of doing so. We have also started with journal editor. We understood what journal editor is. We have also discussed template code, the components of template code we discussed. We discussed which libraries we import, then what is public class, then what is main function, and what is uh, the curly bracket, what it means. So we understood that, and we have also seen few examples, and we have also executed that examples into journal editor, and we have also noticed the outcome of those examples. We have seen a message box example which which shows a pop-up in an NX window. Then we have seen create line, how to create a line using 2 points. Then we have seen create arc, which creates an arc with 3 points. And then we have also seen one example where we are fetching some information from the model. We have used get length API, which this API collects the length of all the edges in the part model. So we have seen how we can fetch the length of these edges using this example. Uh, yeah, so this is what we have done on day number 2. Now it's day number 3, and I do have plan to see to show you some more examples in journal. So let's start with topic number 5. Few more examples about journal. I missed to mention one thing earlier. I already told you that you can take notes because these notes can be very handy, and very can be a very important reference for you to refer in future whenever you are writing a code yourself. But what you can do, one step further to that, you can take the notes and share those notes in a learning channel in Discord. You might have noticed we do have two different channels where we are interacting and the conversation is happening. One is learning channel and another is NXOpen Launchpad. So you can take the notes either digital or on a piece of paper on your diary. And once this session is done, you can share those notes. You can share your learnings, whatever notes you have taken, and you share that into the learning channel. So what will happen is that you are not just taking notes for yourself, but you are also sharing those notes with others. And who knows that there is a cross learning will happen through those notes, because what you understood, you take notes on that, and what other student is learning, he is taking notes on that, and then you got an uh, you got a chance to exchange the learnings uh, between other fellow learners. So this is what can happen. So make sure that you post your learnings in a learning channel once we're done with the session. So let's move on to the today's topic. We are going to see the another example which is related to creating a tree in a an NX model, of course, with a sketch. And with this example, I would like to show you the power of programming. We know that there are certain APIs, and we are going to learn a lot of APIs here. But those APIs are helping us to take the access of NX, either do something inside NX or fetch some information from NX. But these APIs, if they are used with the capability, the powerfulness of a programming, what magic it can do, that we are going to see with this example. This is just one of the the example that can show you the power of programming. So let's start with this example. We'll go inside NX. Let me delete this. I will look for that example and we'll paste it here. So this is an example which creates the tree. Let me open the new one and paste that code here, which creates a tree using lines. So we are doing this, we are creating this geometry in Sketch. So before I explain this code to you, let me show you the output of this code. I have executed this code and you can see this is something that we got as output. So though this is the sketch, the geometry without dimensions, without constraints, but it certainly created uh, some meaningful and some interesting geometry. You can imagine that this is a tree, and this entire tree is created out of lines. So now let's come back to the code and understand how it has been created. Till this point, it is all fine. The session is declared and then the work part is declared. Then this is a variable which is degrees to radians. So you can see that there are lines which are at an angle, and in order to calculate that angle, we need the angle information in radians, because uh, this is how it works. NXOpen cannot take input for angles into degrees. We have to convert that into radians, because there is no option to directly pass the value in degrees for angle. So in order to do that, this variable is declared and there is a formula written for the same to convert the degrees into radians. So it is pi divided by 180 is a formula. Now there are few more things which are declared. The one of the variable is depth. Then there is a starting point. Starting point is defined as 0, 0, 0. Then what we have understood or what we have learned so far from yesterday's example is that there is a class to start with, and within the class there is going to be the main function. And we have also learned that there could be several functions, but main function can be only one. So we do have more than one functions here. One is main function and other function is draw tree. So static void main is going to be the main function and static void draw tree is the another function. So what is happening inside this function? Let's see. So this is a if condition that do certain things based on if the condition is true or not. And what is happening after this condition that we are going to see. Uh, there is, we do have the starting point, which is origin. What we need for creating line is start point and end point. So we do have a start point to start with. Now we need the end point. So this is the end point defined and the x value for the end point is defined using this formula. I'm not going into the details for this formula, but I can tell you that this uses the start point, the x value from start point, which is 0. Then it also uses the cos function, and it also uses the depth, which is 0 to start with. And 10 is going to be the length to draw that line. So this formula calculates the x coordinate for end point. Then there is another formula which uses sine function and it calculates the y coordinate for endpoint. And as this is a 2D sketch, z is going to be 0. Now, once this calculation for x and y coordinates, ultimately the endpoint is done, then line is created using start point and end point. So this creates the first line from 0 to this point. Now, the what has done is draw tree and then this point and then other parameters. It means that this same function is called again. So once these lines are get executed, we know that always the code executes line by line. So once this line is executed, create line is creating a line in the NX, and after this done, the same function is called again, and then this is going to repeat. But this time depth won't be 0 because we started with depth 0, then depth is going to be 1. And because of some change in the values, we will get the new values for x coordinate and y coordinate. And then we do get the different coordinates for start point and different coordinate for end point. And this is how the another line is created. And you can see the angle is maintained from here. First line created with angle minus 20. Maybe this is the minus 20 angle. And then this other line is created with plus 20 angle. So this formula helping calculate the endpoint based on the angle input. And then we got the other two lines added. And this keeps on happening till the time depth becomes 9. So first time depth will be 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. And how long it will go? It will go till depth is 9. So this is how the logic is built in this program. What's happening? There is only one line to create the line. There is only one line of code that is creating the line geometry. But there are several start points and end points are calculated based on this logic. And at the end, this logic uh, this logic is creating this geometry inside NX. Now I cannot play a lot with this output. What I can do is let me delete this entire tree and let's make this depth as 5 and let's make this angle as 25. So it will be little bit broader uh, tree with not that much of depth when it comes to the lines. So let's play with these variations. You can see we got a very small uh, tree because depth is only 5, and I have also increased the angle spacing. Now if I keep the depth 5 but will reduce the angle spacing, I won't need that much broad tree. Let's see what outcome this produces. You can see the angle is now narrowed down. Yeah, so this is how this is how we can go and play. But this is what is the power of logic. This is what is the power of using logic in your program, and you can do a lot of like advanced things in short, using the powerfulness of logic in programming. Okay, we are done with this journal example. I do have other example to discuss, and this example is related to reading some information from a model. So let me get that code. Okay, so I got this code. Now this example is related to getting user attributes. We know that there can be some attributes assigned to the part that we are working on, and this code fetches that attributes from the active part. The session line is something which we have seen many times. Now the next line here in this code is about writing information in a window. So we know that this info write line function, what this do is this fetches some uh, this displays some text in a window. Now the important line to understand is this in this particular example. So there could be several bodies into the work part, and I want to pick the information of all the bodies from the part. So that's why this line is written. This line picks up the bodies from the part. So you can see this parts dot work dot bodies. This is an API which gives me access to the bodies within part. And once I got those bodies, there is a loop. We know, or at least we know the initial idea. At least we have about the loop. Loop is something that can repeat the code till certain condition is achieved, or certain number of repetition we can do with the loops. So this is a for each loop. What this loop is doing, I may get one body, I may get 10 bodies in that model, and all of those bodies uh, user attributes are fetched. So let's talk about the API to do that. This is an API, get user attributes. So this API gets the attributes information from the body, and it gets that information for each body one by one. And we do have another function, another line where info write line is used. And what this is doing, it is doing the same thing. It is displaying that user attribute information in a window. So let's try to play this journal. As you can see, this is showing that output listing of user attributes on each body in the work part. This line is been displayed, but this one outputting list of user attributes of each body in the work part. This is the default one, which is displayed here, but there is nothing related to user attributes has been displayed. The reason could be that first of all, there is no body in this work part. So that's why we are not getting any information. Luckily, that journal has not produced any error because we didn't get any user attributes. The reason is it is we are not dealing with user attributes. We are just displaying them if found. If we at all dealing with that and doing something on top of user attributes, might be this has produced error. But as it was not the case, we didn't get any error message. Now let's run the same journal on another part. Here we do have a body. Here we do have the several features that is creating this body. And now let's run this journal. Same journal on another part we are going to run. In this part as well, there are no user attributes. So if I go to, not in expressions, but at least in menu, I'm missing out where can I find the user attributes. I think it is under properties. No. Tools. Okay, I think I'm missing on how to find the user attributes. Okay, let's leave it. What I will do is I will assign some material. Mm, Materials, assign material. Let's assign the steel. First of all, I need to select the body, apply. Now I have applied this material. I assume that this application of material will create some user attributes in this model. Now let's try. Yeah. So that user attribute is added, and we can get that user attribute listed here. So this is what this journal is doing. It is listing down all the user attributes available in all the bodies. If you try this journal in some part where you do have several bodies, and these bodies might have assigned different materials, and there might be some other attributes that you do have. So whatever you have as a model, uh, and where and there are some user attributes available. This code is going to list all of them for all the bodies. So this is another example, which is from another set of APIs, which fetches some information and shows us into this window. So this is about the another example. Uh, Now it's time to take on the next topic. Let me come back to the slides. Now we have seen enough examples of journal. Now, and we have also seen or got some information about the APIs used. Now let's let's try to find out the reference of these APIs, the context of these APIs inside API reference guide. If you have done assignment number 1, then you have already done with the uh, downloading this API reference guide, and it should be with you, and you can even go and open that or look at that reference guide. So today we are going to try looking at the API reference guide, and we'll try to learn from that guide about the APIs. So let me find out my guide and open that. Okay, so I have opened this guide, and this is the home page of this guide. We are going to see all those APIs, most of those APIs that we have seen through the journal so far. But before that, let's understand about this API reference guide. So this one is the home page, and you can see here there are several namespaces listed down in a table, and we do also get the description, one line description about those namespaces. So we do have NXOpen as a top level namespace, and there are some other namespaces like NXOpen.annotations, NXOpen.assemblies, and so on. This list is huge, and we can also get the description about that namespace. For example, NXOpen.annotations. This namespace provides classes and interfaces related to dimensions, nodes, symbols, PMI, and other annotations. So this is mainly related to annotations in NX. What is namespace? Namespace is nothing but categorization of APIs. This means that NXOpen.annotations will mostly consist of the APIs related to dimensions, annotations, nodes, symbols, etc. Similarly, if we see the other namespace, which is NXOpen.assemblies, mainly this namespace will contain the APIs related to assemblies. So this is namespace is nothing but categorization. So this helps us find out the relevant category, and then we can go into the details and we can find out the uh, relevant APIs within that namespace. So this is just the category of these APIs. Now, as we are going to start with the part automation, or we are going to see the examples related to that, let me go into this namespace, NXOpen.features. If I click here, I will get into this specific namespace. And now what we are going to understand right now about namespace is that there are two important tables if you land in the namespace. The first one is classes. Classes is another subset of APIs. So classes will have other is one will have other set of APIs which are like subset of this main category. Main category in this case is features, and we do have several type of features. Even line is a feature, arc is a feature, sketch is feature, extrude is feature. So we do have several features, and we use all these different kind of features to create our geometry. So you can see that we do have associative arc. Assembly cut is the assembly related feature, but as it is a feature, it is listed in this namespace. Let me found something which is very easy to pick up. Edge, this is one is bend. We can even find out chamfer or edge bend. Even extrude, we will find it here. Datum coordinate system is one of the feature that's here. Let's see this. So this is a class. Datum coordinate system. This is the class. So this is what we say. This table is all classes within NXOpen.features namespace. So all of these are classes, and they do have specific subset of APIs. Now I will go to, let's see this one, datum coordinate system. This represents datum coordinate system feature. If I go here, now you see this list. This list is the APIs. Algorithm version is API. Async process message is another API. Change boolean type, container feature. So this is the API. Get children. Now if I click on any of the API, I do get the description. But if I click here, then I land inside the specific API information page. It can be this much small if it is a very simple API to use. But this is the API information page. And this is how we land here. Namespace, classes, and then API. Now, other important thing to note is structures. But I think we can skip looking at the structure for now. I will keep it simple. One by one, we will understand more about the API reference guide. In short, we start from namespace, then we find out the specific class, the relevant class, and we get inside that class and try to find out or try to understand the APIs we can use within that class into our program. Now, let me tell you about this left hand side. So here we do have first folder which is about namespaces, and this is the folder that we are going to explore lot more uh, going further. So this is what we are going to navigate or explore more. This is related to CAE, the other folder, which is not what we are going to touch upon because this is not our topic of focus. Then we do have two more folders which are related to ufunc or user function. We might refer to this, but again that much not that much. So this is what is going to be the main folder that we are going to refer. Whether we can navigate to the relevant API from this side, or we can go and even expand these namespaces, and we can even expand here and can go through these different topics. So you can see mainly as this is a namespace, there are mainly classes inside this. So this is another way of navigating the API reference guide. And we do have other tabs, index tab, search tab. And if we add anything to the favorites, we can see that here I have not used myself this yet because I know how to find out what I am looking for, uh, what I'm looking for from this API reference guide very well. So I have not used favorites tab yet. Uh, so there is index and search tab. But what my experience is, if you do have a keyword and you wanted to search that API from this reference guide, instead of using search tab, you use index tab, because with index tab, you get much relevant search results. Instead of search, use index for searching. This is what my experience is. Now, this is about the API reference guide. Now let's recall the first journal example, which is about creating line. So let's try to find out the create line API. So I will just type create line, and I get that result um, here in this list. I can directly double click on create line, and this can get me some more topics to choose from. Now I got 4 topics. This is the first topic. Second one is the other method. Same thing, create line, but other method which uses line coordinates and line to draw a line. So this is another method of creating line. And what method we have seen is we have used in our journal is start point and end point. So there are 2 methods which are very similar. So we'll start with the this one which looks much similar what I have done in a journal, or what journal we have seen. So we'll double click on this topic, and we land here. Now you can see more information about create line method. Create line, though it is stated as method, it is an API that creates line. So it states that creates a line joining given start point and end point. And how this is used in C sharp, create line into bracket, point as start point and other point as end point, and then bracket complete. Now if I go to NX again and try to open create line example, now you can correlate create line inside bracket. We do have start point and end point, bracket complete. So we got complete information about API along with the parameters required within bracket, and also the syntax part, because we also got what needs to be written inside bracket and whether this API requires the brackets or not. So all that syntax as well, along with the exact exact details we got from that help page. So this is about create point. Now let's see another API, which is creating arc. So create arc method. If I click here, similar to create a line, we do have several methods to create arc. This one is arc along with the coordinates. This one is creating arc with center point, matrix, radius, start angle, end angle. The other method with other parameters, and I think we have used this method. Start point, point on curve, end point, and a couple of more parameters. If I click on this method, then I get complete information about that API. Now let me open that journal. So what we have used, it create arc, start point, point on curve, end point. This is very simple for you to understand, because so far you understood how points are defined along with the XYZ coordinates. So these 3 parameters for this API you are clear about. Now there are two more parameters that we haven't discussed. These two. Okay, now these two parameters, the information about this we can find in this API page. So that this one is the first one of that alternate solution. So, so this is actually the parameter which is Boolean type. We are yet to understand about the types, but to tell you uh, about Boolean, Boolean means either true or false. So if true, then something is going to happen. So this is the more description about this parameter to be used. And there is another parameter which is again Boolean type, but which is very different. If you notice here, the last parameter, before this parameter, this is written out. It means this is the output parameter. If out is written before the parameter, then it is output parameter. What this means is that all these four parameters are input and last one is going to be output. If I go to the example again, you can see these 3 points are input and we do have this parameter defined as false. It means it does have a value. This is also the input. It means these four parameters are input and last one is, you can see there is no equal to sign used. It means there is no value assigned to this parameter, and this is why it means this is why this is the output parameter. So how it is written like this here, why it is written like this? It is because of this is how we shall use this API, and that entire information we found it in a API reference guide. So this is the importance of API reference guide. So what we are going to do is that we are not going to hard learn the APIs. Instead, what we are going to do, we are going to practice how to navigate, how to explore the API reference guide, and how to find out what you're looking for, and how to understand the details about API from the API page, so that you become self-sufficient over the period of time by practicing this, and then you don't need to hard learn any of the APIs. So this is what we are going to do, and uh, this API reference guide. This is why this API reference guide is going to be the important resource for you, prime resource for you. Even if you are learner, even if you become a pro NXOpen developer, even after that, this is a guide that you need to refer when you are in need. So this is that much important guide for you. Now I think we are done with this topic as well, the topic on introduction to API reference guide. So we have seen this is going to be the ultimate source for APIs information.